Beloved chosen one, heaven has called your name. This is not an ordinary Sunday. The breath of eternity has hovered over your timeline, marking this very hour as sacred. You feel it in your spirit, the stillness, the quiet before a storm of glory. Heaven has paused to speak to you directly. Every sound around you fades because this moment is divine. You are not scrolling by chance. You are not here by accident. You have been led here by the unseen hand of God. You have waited, endured, and questioned. You have asked, when will it be my turn? And now, heaven answers, this is your miracle Sunday. Every delay, every closed door, every silent prayer whispered in the night, they all converge right now. The spiritual realm has shifted. Heaven has unlocked your blessing. For too long, the enemy tried to convince you that you were forgotten, that your prayers went unheard, that your obedience was wasted. But heaven has never been silent. It was only preparing. Every tear you cried watered the soil of this very moment. You are standing in the season of divine manifestation. The glory you once only dreamed of is now reaching for you. Listen carefully. Chosen one, the Lord says, your name has been spoken in the courts of heaven. Angels have been dispatched with scrolls of fulfillment, and they carry instructions bearing your identity. The book of your destiny is being opened again. Every no that once broke your spirit was only God's way of preserving your yes. As you stand on this miracle Sunday, something in your spirit begins to awaken. You feel a stirring, a trembling of destiny deep inside your chest. This is the moment when waiting ends. Heaven is not negotiating with your circumstances anymore. It is commanding them to align. Every obstacle, every delay, every mountain is bowing to divine order. This is the hour of divine interruption. God interrupts pain with peace, sorrow with song, delay with destiny. He steps into your ordinary Sunday and turns it into holy ground. You are standing where miracles begin. The same God who parted the Red Sea, who opened blind eyes, who raised the dead, is now opening the gates of favor over your life. Don't dismiss what you feel right now. That warmth, that stirring, that's not emotion, it's activation. Heaven is responding to your faith. The atmosphere around you is charged with supernatural movement. The very air you breathe carries breakthrough. And listen closely. Chosen one, you have not been called to blend in. You were not born for average. You were designed for distinction. You were hidden for a season because God was preparing to reveal you in His time. That time is now. Your preparation season has expired. The waiting room has turned into the birthing room. Every promise you have been carrying is ready to emerge. You are not empty. You are pregnant with divine purpose. The contractions you felt this past season were not punishment, they were signs of coming glory. You are about to see what your faith has been fighting for. This Sunday is your evidence. This Sunday is your unfolding. This Sunday is your suddenly. The heavens have signed the decree, your blessing is unlocked. What was once delayed will now be delivered. What was once closed will now open in your favor. You are stepping into answered prayers, fulfilled promises, and undeniable miracles. And hear this truth, God is not only blessing you, He is making you a blessing. You are about to become the proof that obedience still works, that faith still moves mountains, that prayer still changes everything. Lift your eyes. Chosen one, you are no longer at the bottom. You are being raised. The hand of God is upon you, pulling you from obscurity into overflow. This is your divine elevation. Heaven has already signed your release, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. It is written in the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." My 90. Now, let this be your prophetic act. If this word speaks to your spirit, if you feel heaven tugging at your heart, then respond, like, share, and comment below to declare your alignment with heaven's decree. Type this number as your prophetic sign of faith, 777, the number of divine completion and heavenly alignment. Subscribe to this channel to stay under the flow of what God is releasing next. Let your comment be a declaration written in the digital heavens, a record of your faith. Every time you type those numbers, you testify that you believe God still speaks, still moves, still blesses. Your engagement is not for visibility, it is a spiritual echo that says, "I receive what is mine." So, pause and feel this moment. Settle in your spirit. This is your confirmation. Heaven has seen your struggle, counted your tears, and chosen this very message to meet you here. Nothing is random. Nothing is wasted. Type 777. Share this word and step boldly into your Miracle Sunday. Your Miracle Sunday has arrived. Heaven has unlocked your blessing. The only question left is, will you receive it? You have walked through valleys that no one else saw. Chosen one. Nights when your pillow was soaked in tears. Mornings when you smiled so no one could see the battle raging within. You have been faithful in seasons that seemed silent. Steadfast when everything in you wanted to surrender. What others call survival, heaven calls perseverance. You didn't just endure, you worshipped through the storm. Every wound you carry is not a mark of weakness, but a seal of endurance. God saw every rejection, every betrayal, every door that slammed in your face. What you thought broke you actually built you. You were being refined in the fire, shaped into a vessel that could hold divine glory. Heaven chose you for hard things because it knew you would not bow. You have fought invisible wars, cried silent tears, and smiled while bleeding. But nothing you have faced was wasted, even the nights you thought you wouldn't make it. Grace stood watch. Angels guarded your mind while darkness whispered lies. Every not yet was actually heaven's way of saying, "I'm preparing something greater." There were moments when you wondered if God still remembered your name. You prayed and heard no echo. You sowed and saw no harvest. You obeyed and felt no reward. But the silence was not absence, it was strategy. God was working behind closed doors, aligning your miracle with divine timing. You were never forgotten, only hidden. The hidden season is the holy season. Chosen one. It is the place where roots grow before branches stretch. You thought nothing was happening, but heaven was digging deeper foundations. Every delay was a construction zone for destiny. You were being fortified, made unshakable, prepared for the weight of the blessing that is now on its way. And while you cried in the dark, heaven was watching in light. Your tears were translated into divine language, each one carrying a request, each sigh becoming a seed. When you didn't have words left to pray, your pain prayed for you. God gathered every tear into the cup of remembrance. Nothing escaped his notice. The enemy tried to make you quit. He wanted to convince you that you were disqualified. He whispered that you were too flawed, too broken, too late. But God smiled, because he knew that your scars would one day become your sermon. The enemy fought your mind because he couldn't touch your calling. You were always destined to rise. Beloved, hear this every time you chose faith over fear. You were making history in heaven. Every time you forgave instead of retaliated, heaven recorded it as victory. Every silent battle you won is now demanding public recompense. You will not come out empty-handed. Every ounce of pain will be translated into power. Do you remember those moments when you said, "I can't take any more"? Heaven heard those words, but instead of removing the trial, God strengthened your shoulders. You didn't break because grace held you. You didn't give up because destiny whispered, "Keep going." What felt like the end was only the bend. Your story didn't stop there, it's only turning. There's a divine reason why you are still standing. You are evidence that God's mercy never fails. You may not see the full picture yet, but heaven has been piecing together the fragments of your story into a mosaic of redemption. What the enemy meant for destruction has become the raw material for your deliverance. As the pain deepened, so did your capacity. The greater the opposition, the greater the anointing being formed inside you. You thought you were breaking, but you were actually expanding. That's why it hurt. It was the stretch before increase. You were not losing, you were making room. And now, as the clouds begin to part, heaven whispers again, you made it. You didn't die in the fire. You didn't drown in the flood. You survived what was meant to destroy you. Every chain that once held you is being shattered. You will soon understand why you had to walk this path alone. Your faith is the reason your family is still standing. Your prayers are the reason generational curses are being broken. You are not weak. You are the warrior heaven sent into your bloodline to end cycles of pain. Your endurance is holy. Your scars are sacred. You are not damaged. You are distinguished. Now breathe. For the first time in a long while, breathe, knowing that the battle is turning in your favor. The winds that once opposed you are shifting to carry you forward. What was once resistance is now propulsion. The very struggle that tried to bury you has become the foundation that lifts you. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. It is written in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future." With safe ardor, these words are not ancient, they are alive, echoing through time to reach you right now. You may not see the fullness yet, but heaven is aligning every piece. The miracle you've prayed for is moving closer with every breath you take. You are no longer fighting for survival. You are standing at the threshold of revival. So let the tears fall if they must. For this time, they are tears of release. Heaven is rewriting your story in light. Every dark chapter is about to make sense. The pain that once defined you will soon testify for you. You are not forgotten. Chosen one, you are favored. And this Sunday, the proof of that favor begins to unfold before your eyes. Chosen one. The divine clock has struck. Heaven's calendar has turned to your page. You have entered the moment where delay expires and destiny activates. For years, it felt like time was standing still, promises spoken but not fulfilled, prayers prayed but not answered. yet in the unseen. Heaven was aligning the perfect second for manifestation. And now that moment is here. You have not missed your season has just found you. The divine schedule never runs late. When it seemed like everyone else was moving forward while you remained still, heaven was actually holding time still for your sake. The Lord was ensuring that when your moment arrived, nothing and no one could interfere. Every clock that appeared to stop was synchronized with eternity. Beloved, when God sets his time, no power can delay it. Every second of your waiting has meaning. Your frustration was heaven's construction zone. The silence you felt was God's voice working in frequencies too high for the natural ear. Every prayer you thought bounced off the ceiling was stored in heaven's vault, ready to be released at the appointed hour. This is that hour. You are not walking into it, you are standing inside it. The sound of divine timing echoes through the heavens, and it is your name being announced. The time of divine reversal has begun. The last will become first, and what was once behind will now move ahead. Heaven has declared, enough delay. That relationship that failed, that opportunity that closed, that door that refused to open, it all makes sense now. It was never rejection, it was divine redirection. God was not taking from you, he was saving you from the wrong timing. The wrong thing at the right time is still wrong, but the right thing in God's time changes everything. Chosen one. Remember how many times you tried to make something work on your own strength? You pushed doors, forced outcomes, exhausted yourself trying to fix what was never meant to fit. Yet now, without effort, things are beginning to align. That's the sign you've stepped into divine rhythm. Heaven has shifted from silence to release. It's not coincidence that you are reading this right now. Heaven orchestrated this moment so you would know that you haven't been forgotten, you've been scheduled. The same God who appointed the stars their courses has appointed this moment for your breakthrough. What was stagnant begins to flow. What was delayed begins to accelerate. And hear this, your faith has matured in the waiting. You no longer chase signs, you stand on the word. You no longer need validation. You rest in identity. That is why the miracle can manifest now, because you have become the person who can carry it. Blessing before maturity becomes burden. But now, heaven can trust you with weighty things. Everything around you is beginning to testify to change. Small signs appear: a phone call, a message, a random opportunity, and you sense the divine in it. Don't overlook these moments. They are previews of the full manifestation to come. The same God who can part seas can also open inboxes, unlock doors, and turn hearts. You may have felt the spiritual clock ticking, wondering if you are behind. But the truth is, you are right on time. Heaven's timing is not measured by human calendars. God redeems lost years in a moment. You are about to recover more in one divine season than you lost in many. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, it is written in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the revelation awaits an appointed time. It speaks of the end and will not prove false. Though it linger, wait for it. It will certainly come and will not delay." 1. Is Saint-Govit 2023. These words are your confirmation. What heaven has written about you cannot be erased. The ink of prophecy does not fade. The delay was only the distance between what was spoken and what is now manifesting. God has not changed his mind about you. The promise still stands. The prophecy still breathes. Now, Take this truth deep into your spirit. Timing is a weapon. When you align with divine time, every enemy loses power. Those who mocked you in delay will marvel at your acceleration. Heaven has flipped the hourglass. Every grain of sand now falls in your favor. The atmosphere around you is shifting. Slow doors begin to open. Opportunities reappear, and clarity comes. You feel a rhythm returning to your life, a flow that was once lost. That's because heaven's metronome is beating again, and you are walking in sync with it. This is not a random Sunday, it's a prophetic announcement. Everything you've carried is about to bloom. Every promise is about to take shape. The waiting is over, and the working has begun. Now, as an act of faith, type these words below: it's my time. Say it, believe it, and seal it. When you comment, you're not performing for the algorithm, you're partnering with heaven's declaration. You are saying, I agree with divine timing. You are aligning your natural timeline with heaven's perfect schedule. That small act of faith becomes a spiritual stamp saying, yes, Lord, I'm ready. Breathe it in. Chosen one. You're standing in the moment. Others only dream of the moment when prophecy meets reality. You don't need to chase blessings anymore. Blessings are chasing you. The clock has turned, and your hour has come. Your divine time has arrived. Chosen one. Everything that once shook around you was never meant to destroy you. It was meant to align you. You thought the shaking was chaos, but heaven was rearranging. The ground beneath you trembled, not because you were losing stability, but because God was shifting foundations that could no longer support your future. The shaking was the sound of divine construction. You prayed for breakthrough, but sometimes breakthrough comes disguised as breakdown. Walls collapse so light can enter. People leave so clarity can come. Plans crumble so destiny can breathe. You were never being punished, you were being positioned. Every sudden change, every unexpected ending, was a holy disruption sent to realign your path with heaven's map. Sometimes God allows storms not to test your faith, but to test your foundation. And when the winds came, you didn't break, you bent. You adjusted. You adapted. You endured. That's why you're still here. The same winds that destroyed others only deepened your roots. You didn't know it then, but the shaking was proof of your stability. Chosen one. What you built in pain will last in power. Your faith was never proven on mountaintops, it was forged in valleys. Every time the ground shook beneath you, heaven whispered, hold on, I'm rebuilding. You've been through cycles of loss, change, and confusion, yet here you stand stronger, clearer, unshakable. The Lord never allows shaking without a shift following it. When God shakes the old, it's because the new is ready. The very thing that felt like destruction was actually the preparation for elevation. That job you lost, that friendship that faded, that season that ended it, all had to move for new glory to settle. Think about it when an earthquake hits. The surface breaks, but new rivers sometimes emerge. Underground streams are forced upward, releasing hidden waters. That's what happened to you. The shaking forced out hidden strength, hidden wisdom, hidden anointing. It drew out what comfort could never call forth. Pain became your midwife, and now destiny is being birthed. You are walking proof that not all shaking is loss, some shaking is birthing. Heaven shook your life not to remove you, but to reveal you. You were hidden beneath layers of limitation, false identity, and old alignment. When the trembling began, it stripped you of what was temporary so that the eternal could rise. The shaking may have left scars, but those scars shine as your testimony. Each one tells the world, I have been through the fire, and I did not burn. You didn't merely survive, you transformed. The same storms that frightened you now bow to your authority. You have learned to command peace where chaos once ruled. And now, you are being prepared for the shift that follows the shaking. The dust is settling, the noise is fading, and the structure of your future is becoming visible. You may not recognize yourself fully yet, because you've been upgraded. The old version of you could not carry the new assignment. That's why God had to dismantle the old framework. It could not hold the weight of glory coming next. The Lord whispers, I have built you again, stronger than before. You have become the kind of vessel that can withstand pressure without cracking. What used to intimidate you now bows before your confidence. The fear that once silenced you now trembles at your voice. Heaven is stabilizing what the shaking revealed. Relationships that remain after the storm are true. Opportunities that stand after the shaking are divinely approved. Doors that open now will not close again. You are entering into a season of steady building, unshakable favor, and divine establishment. Remember, the purpose of shaking is never destruction, it's purification. What remains after the storm is pure gold. You have been refined by fire and confirmed by movement. Every unstable area of your life has now been anchored in truth. You stand upon the rock, immovable and unbreakable. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus. It is written in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14, the Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. Restuman. That verse carries your command for this moment. Be still. Not because nothing is happening, but because everything is. Heaven is fighting the unseen battles while you stand in divine stillness. You no longer need to prove, chase, or control. God has taken over the battle, and your posture now is peace. So, rest. Chosen one. The trembling has accomplished its purpose. The shaking has served its mission. You are entering the era of divine calm, the kind that follows obedience and endurance. The same ground that shook beneath your feet will soon bloom beneath your steps. What once wavered will now prosper. The shaking before the shift was never punishment. It was prophecy. Heaven was rearranging the pieces of your destiny to fit perfectly together. Now the structure stands firm. The foundation is secure, and your soul is at peace. The shift has begun, and you are ready to walk in it. Chosen one. The seal of heaven is breaking. You can almost feel the tremor in your spirit, the sacred moment when what was once hidden in eternity begins to manifest in time. The gates of heaven have swung open, and divine messengers are being dispatched with scrolls in their hands. On those scrolls are names, and one of them is yours. For years, you have prayed, waited, and wondered if heaven remembered your voice. Every whispered petition, every tear that fell in faith, every act of obedience that no one saw, all of it has reached the throne. And now, the response of heaven has come, the seal is broken, and the blessing is released. When God seals something, no man can access it until the appointed time. But when he breaks the seal, everything that was held back begins to pour forth. That is what is happening now. Heaven is not preparing your miracle, it's delivering it. What was once written about you in heavenly places is being revealed in earthly spaces. Chosen one. You must understand the power of divine timing. Heaven never forgets. The scroll of remembrance has been opened, and your obedience has been recorded as fragrance before God. Every act of kindness, every prayer offered in secret, every time you chose faith over fear, it has built a memorial in the presence of the Almighty. And now, he responds, the angels are not coming empty-handed. They carry blueprints, divine instructions for your next assignment. They bring favor that cannot be explained, opportunities that defy logic, and restoration for everything you thought was lost. This is not random luck. This is the outpouring of divine order meeting divine promise. When the seal breaks, it doesn't whisper, it roars. The spiritual atmosphere shifts. Old barriers crumble. Curses lose their hold. The same heavens that seemed silent now thunder with purpose. And you, chosen one, stand at the center of it. This is your appointed moment, your turning point, your divine unveiling. You may not see the full picture yet, but pay attention to the signs. Small confirmations are beginning to appear: unexpected favor, surprising peace, divine coincidences. These are not accidents, they are evidence that heaven has moved. The lock has turned, and the door has opened. The Word of God declares in the book of Revelation, it is written in the book of Revelation, chapter 3, verse 8, See, I have placed before you an open door that no one can shut. I know that you have little strength, yet you have kept my word and have not denied my name. The Retha. This verse is your reality. Heaven has placed an open door before you, one that no opposition can close. You don't have to force it, manipulate it, or beg for it. All you need to do is walk through it with faith. God opens doors that lead to destiny, not comfort. You are not entering another cycle, you are stepping into fulfillment. Now, pause and breathe in this truth. Everything that once resisted you is losing its grip. Every force that opposed your progress is being silenced. You can feel it. Something unseen but undeniable has shifted. The tide that once went against you now flows in your favor. You are walking in divine momentum. And, chosen one, as you read these words, know this: heaven doesn't release blessings into isolation. It connects hearts, builds families, and establishes movements. What is being poured into you right now is meant to overflow into others. You are not just receiving a blessing, you are becoming a blessing. That is why this message matters. Somewhere out there, another weary soul needs to hear what you are hearing now. Someone else needs to be reminded that God's timing is perfect, that heaven still breaks seals, that miracles still happen. When you share this message, you're not spreading content, you're spreading light. If this word stirs something inside you, take a simple step of faith. Like this message, not for algorithm, but as an act of agreement, saying, I receive what heaven has released. Share it so that others standing in silence may hear the same sound of release. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Not for numbers, but to stay connected to the ongoing flow of divine revelation. These are not digital actions, they are prophetic echoes of faith. Because when heaven releases a word, it searches for hearts willing to carry it further. Your voice matters. Your obedience multiplies the message. Together, the chosen ones amplify the sound of awakening. Beloved, the seal has been broken. The vaults of heaven are open. The favor that was once locked away has your name engraved upon it. You are stepping into a reality where grace overflows. Peace surrounds, and doors open with ease. Every promise delayed is now activated. Every seed sown in tears is now rising in joy. This is not just another Sunday, it is your unveiling. The heavens have shifted, the scrolls have been opened, and the blessing is in motion. You have waited long enough. It's time to walk into the fulfillment of everything God whispered to your heart. The seal of heaven is broken, and your name has been read aloud in glory. Step forward. Chosen one, the door is open, and the blessing is yours. Chosen one. Sometimes miracles do not arrive wrapped in thunder, they come quietly, disguised in the ordinary. You have prayed for signs in the sky. Yet heaven often hides the supernatural in simplicity. What if your miracle is not waiting in the spectacular, but breathing in the everyday moments you overlook? Heaven whispers through your routine. The same God who parts seas also multiplies loaves. The same God who raises the dead also stirs hearts at kitchen tables and work desks. The miracle hidden in the mundane is not lesser, it's just as divine. The ordinary has always been heaven's favorite disguise. You see, when the extraordinary is concealed within the ordinary, only the faithful can recognize it. That's why others may look at your life and see nothing changing, while you sense heaven's hand rearranging everything. God doesn't need a stage to perform miracles, He only needs surrender. Look around you. Chosen one. That unexpected phone call. That small opportunity. That peaceful moment after chaos, they are all evidence of movement. Miracles rarely shout, they whisper. They unfold slowly, like dawn breaking after a long night. Sometimes the greatest breakthroughs arrive disguised as small beginnings. The enemy wants you to despise simplicity, to think that if it isn't dramatic, it isn't divine. But heaven's ways are not always loud. Remember how Jesus turned water into wine not with noise, but with quiet authority. The jars were filled, the command was spoken, and transformation happened in silence. This is your season to notice the silent wonders. Every answered prayer may not come with a trumpet, but it will come with truth. The small shifts, the gentle nudges, the quiet peace you now feel, these are signs that heaven is already at work. You don't have to chase the miraculous when you carry the miracle worker within. There is divine wisdom in the ordinary. Heaven often hides power in patterns: your daily prayers, your steady faith, your consistent love. These are the rhythms where miracles grow. Every time you choose kindness over bitterness, faith over fear, peace over panic, you make room for heaven to move. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, it is written in the book of Matthew, chapter 6, verse 6, "But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father, who is unseen. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Items. Heaven sees what happens behind closed doors. Every unseen act of obedience is seen by the unseen God. Your private prayers are about to yield public blessings. The Father who watched your faith in silence is preparing to reward you in sight. Chosen one. Never underestimate the miracle hidden inside your persistence. The daily faithfulness you thought went unnoticed has been recorded in heaven's archive. When you chose to love even when you were unloved, when you served without recognition, when you praised without applause, you were unlocking favor in realms you couldn't see. That's why this season feels different. There is peace where there used to be panic. There is hope where there used to be heaviness. Heaven is rewarding the quiet warriors, the ones who didn't quit when no one clapped. The miracles coming to you now are tailor-made for your faithfulness. Do not despise the small. Do not ignore the gentle. The greatest revelations are born in whispers. Even now, the divine is weaving through your daily steps, preparing a sudden harvest. You are walking into blessings you didn't even realize you had planted for. When heaven decides to move, it does not always send thunder, it sends confirmation. And this message is yours. Heaven is saying, what you have done in secret, I will now bring into the light. Your miracle will come quietly, but its impact will speak loudly. Others will look and wonder how it happened, and your only answer will be, it was God all along. Now, chosen one, seal this truth with a prophetic sign of faith. Type the number 444 below. It's not superstition, it's symbolism. 4 represents stability, foundation, and divine establishment. When you comment 444, you're declaring, I recognize heaven's hand in the ordinary. I will not overlook the hidden blessings. You're agreeing that your daily faith will yield divine fruit. Every time you type it, you align your spirit with the quiet rhythm of heaven. You're saying, Lord, I trust you even in silence. And heaven responds to that humility with acceleration. The miracle hidden in the mundane is already unfolding. You don't need to strive or chase, just stay faithful. Keep praying, keep showing up, keep believing. The next time you think nothing is happening, remember this silence is not absence, it's incubation. Something holy is forming beneath the surface. Before long, you'll look back and realize that what seemed ordinary was supernatural all along. That the conversation, the delay, the waiting, all of it was divine choreography. God was moving every piece without needing applause. Your miracle is near, and it will arrive gently. Be ready. Watch closely, and never again call small what heaven calls sacred. Chosen one, can you feel it, the shift in the atmosphere? The nearness of something sacred, drawing close, heaven is stirring with movement. You've walked through silence, survived storms, and stood firm through shaking. But now, a new sound is rising, the sound of sudden glory. It does not announce itself with warning. It arrives like dawn, quiet, unstoppable, radiant. Sudden glory is when the unseen becomes undeniable. It's when what you have believed for, prayed for, and wept over breaks into the natural realm without explanation. You sense it before you see it. Your spirit starts to tremble. Your heart beats faster. Your surroundings seem charged. It's not emotion, it's encounter. Heaven is near. This is the moment when delay loses its voice and destiny begins to sing. The waiting season has done its work. You've been refined, not restrained. What was forming in silence is now emerging in brilliance. The same God who hid you in the wilderness is about to display you in the light. Chosen one, sudden glory doesn't come because you earned it. It comes because you endured. You stayed faithful when others gave up. You worshipped while wounded, trusted when tired, and loved while lonely. Heaven never forgets that kind of faith. The glory you are stepping into is heaven's thank you for your perseverance. When glory comes, everything ordinary becomes radiant. Conversations carry revelation. Songs carry healing. Even your presence carries peace. People who once ignored you will feel the shift but not understand it. It's because you are no longer operating on human energy. You are walking in divine current. There are moments when glory is gentle like rain, and others when it roars like a river. You may not see flashes of light, but you'll know when it happens. The atmosphere thickens, time feels slower, and your heart becomes still. You realize heaven isn't far, it's here. The presence of God has a weight, not of burden, but of beauty. It settles upon you like a mantle. You don't chase it, it finds you. And when it does, everything changes. Your words carry power. Your prayers pierce darkness. Your very breath feels synchronized with heaven's rhythm. This glory does not visit for a moment, it comes to dwell. You have become a resting place for God's presence. Where others experience visitation, you will experience habitation. You are being transformed into a vessel of divine glory that radiates healing, truth, and grace everywhere you go. As we are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, it is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 24, verse 7, "Lift up your heads, you gates, be lifted up, you ancient doors, that the King of glory may come in." Later, thank you, S. That verse is more than poetry, it's prophecy. The ancient doors it speaks of are the gates of your heart. When you lift your gaze, when you choose faith over fear, those gates swing open, and the King of glory enters. He brings light where there was confusion, peace where there was chaos, and renewal where there was weariness. Chosen one, this glory is personal. It will not only surround you, it will transform you. Your countenance will carry peace that cannot be explained. Your words will heal wounds you didn't even know existed. You will notice that even those who once resisted you will be softened in your presence, not because of you, but because of the presence you carry. Heaven's glory reveals and heals. It exposes the cracks not to shame you, but to fill them. It uncovers broken places so light can enter. Every scar, every insecurity, every hidden ache is being touched by this glory. The same light that reveals also restores. You will not come out of this encounter the same. You've prayed for answers, but God is giving you Himself. The answer is not a thing, it's a presence. And when His presence fills your space, fear loses its home, anxiety dissolves, confusion quiets. You no longer need to understand, you simply are understood. You've entered the phase where glory becomes lifestyle. You don't visit it on Sundays, you walk in it on Mondays. It is in your voice, your decisions, your kindness, your restraint. You have become evidence that God still dwells among His people. Sudden glory means you no longer need to strive to be seen. Heaven's light is your spotlight. You will find that opportunities begin to find you. Connections align without effort, and blessings flow naturally. That is what happens when the King of Glory takes residence. He brings divine order with Him. And when this glory settles, it doesn't leave you empty, it fills you to overflow. You'll find yourself blessing others without trying. praying for people in passing, feeling heaven's compassion stirring in your chest. You've become a carrier of divine light in a world desperate for warmth. So breathe. Chosen one, the air around you is charged with presence. The atmosphere has changed because you have changed. What was once hidden is now revealed, and what was once heavy is now holy. You have entered the realm of sudden glory, where miracles feel natural and heaven feels near. Chosen one, when the light begins to break forth, darkness always makes one last attempt. It's a pattern as old as time, the moment before the promise manifests. Opposition intensifies. The enemy fights hardest when he knows he's losing his grip. That's where you are right now, standing on the edge of fulfillment while facing the fiercest resistance yet. You've felt it, haven't you? The sudden confusion, the unexpected weariness, the doubts that come from nowhere. It's not coincidence, it's warfare. When heaven prepares to crown you, hell tries to distract you. The attacks aren't random, they're reaction. The enemy senses your breakthrough before you see it. But hear this clearly. The darkness is not a sign of defeat, it's a signal that deliverance is near. Pressure always peaks right before release. The enemy throws his loudest lies right before God reveals his loudest truth. You're not under attack because you're weak. You're under attack because you're chosen. This isn't the season to question your strength. It's the season to exercise it. Every temptation to give up is an invitation to rise higher. Every whisper of fear is a chance to prove your faith. The battle you face is not about destruction, it's about revelation. You're discovering just how powerful you truly are. The darkness tries to distort, to twist truth until you doubt your own promise. It says, maybe it won't happen, or maybe you heard wrong. But faith doesn't depend on sight, it depends on certainty. You know too much to go back. You've seen too much of God's hand to believe He's absent now. When the enemy can't stop your blessing, he tries to sabotage your belief. If he can't block what's coming, he'll try to blind you to it. That's why weariness has been creeping in, because he knows you're closer than ever. The closer you get to victory, the louder the resistance becomes. But it's an echo, not a wall. You're already past the hardest part. Chosen one, remember every battle you've survived. Remember how many times you thought it was over, yet you're still here. That's proof enough that grace is working. If God didn't abandon you in your darkest night, He won't leave you now that the dawn is breaking. Every weapon formed against you is powerless against divine decree. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle in his letter to the Ephesians. It is written in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." That weary does. This verse unmasks the strategy behind your struggle. The conflict isn't with people or circumstances, it's spiritual. That's why logic can't solve it. It must be conquered in prayer, in worship, in unwavering trust. You win not by fighting harder, but by standing firmer. When you hold your peace, heaven fights on your behalf. The enemy's greatest mistake is forgetting who stands with you. You are surrounded by a host of witnesses, unseen warriors, and heavenly fire. The same God who shut the mouths of lions and opened prison doors stands beside you now. You are not alone in this fight. Heaven's armies move when you remain steadfast. This is the moment when fear tries to shout, but faith must whisper louder. The darkness wants you to panic. But peace is your greatest weapon. Every time you choose calm over chaos, you confuse the enemy. He expects you to collapse, not to worship. He expects you to run, not to rise. So lift your head, chosen one. Look beyond what's pressing you and see what's propelling you. The very resistance you feel is the force launching you into new realms. You are not breaking down, you are breaking through. The shaking beneath your feet is the sound of chains falling, not of foundations cracking. There will come a day soon when you'll look back at this moment and understand why the fire had to burn this hot. It's refining you, sharpening your discernment, deepening your authority. You'll emerge with scars that speak of victory, not defeat. The enemy tried to intimidate you, but he forgot something crucial. You belong to the one who already won. You fight from victory, not for it. The outcome was settled long before the battle began. The blood of Jesus wrote your victory in eternal ink. Hold steady, chosen one. The storm that roared around you is exhausting itself. The enemy's last attempt is his final mistake. The light of heaven is about to break through so fiercely that darkness won't recognize its own shadow. What's coming is not another test, it's triumph. You've proven faithful under pressure, and heaven has seen it. The final push of opposition is the birth cry of your miracle. Stand firm. The dawn is already coloring the horizon. You're not losing ground, you're reclaiming it. The enemy's time is over. The glory you carry is about to silence every voice of fear. And when the dust clears, you'll realize the battle wasn't meant to destroy you, it was meant to reveal you. Chosen one, it is time to rise. You have waited long enough, endured long enough, prayed long enough. Heaven is no longer whispering, heaven is commanding. The word over your life now is not wait, but rise. You have been refined by fire, and now you are ready to walk in divine authority. The days of silence and hiding are ending. Your assignment is being announced. This is not about physical rising only, it is spiritual, emotional, and prophetic. God is calling every part of you that was once weary, every dream that fell asleep, every gift that was buried under fear. The command is echoing through your spirit, rise, because destiny cannot move forward while you stay kneeling to your past. The Lord is not suggesting it's a command of resurrection. Every forgotten prophecy, every unopened door, every dusty dream, they are all responding to His voice right now. You are not waiting for permission anymore. You are walking in divine commission. The oil on your life is beginning to flow again, stronger and purer than before. But hear this carefully. Chosen one rising requires decision. Heaven can release the command, but you must obey it. The miracle always meets movement. When Peter stepped out of the boat, the water beneath his feet transformed. When you step in faith, the ground of impossibility becomes stability. The enemy's last tactic is paralysis, keeping you thinking instead of moving, analyzing instead of obeying. But this is not the time to overthink. This is the time to act. Your obedience is the trigger for heaven's acceleration. As soon as you take the first step, heaven will rush to meet you halfway. Every time you speak faith aloud, you activate angels. Every time you move in obedience, divine alignment accelerates. This is why hesitation feels heavy. It's spiritual resistance. The enemy knows that one bold act of obedience from you can shift generations. As the prophet Elijah spoke as recorded in the first book of Kings, it is written in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 41, "And Elijah said to Ahab, Go up, eat and drink, for there is the sound of abundance of rain." As know, when God says, "Rise," He is not only lifting you, He is raising everything connected to you. Families will be restored through your faith. Nations will be shifted through your obedience. What begins as a personal call becomes a generational transformation. That is why you cannot remain silent. Chosen one, your voice carries weight. When you speak truth, darkness trembles. When you declare victory, the atmosphere aligns. This is not pride, it's awareness of authority. Heaven placed a mantle on your words. You were never meant to echo fear. You were born to declare freedom. You will feel the wind of the Spirit pushing you into new places. Don't resist it. You may not feel ready, but readiness is not a feeling, it's obedience. When God says move, it's because He already prepared the ground ahead. Step forward, even if your voice shakes. You are being watched by heaven and hell alike, and both will witness what obedience births. This is your moment to stand and speak, to rise and reign. The same Spirit that hovered over creation now hovers over you, waiting for your agreement. The kingdom is activated by sound, and your declaration is the key. Now, as a prophetic act, type these words below, "I rise now." This is not a ritual, it's a declaration. When you type those words, you're not just commenting, you're aligning your spirit with heaven's command. You are saying, "I will no longer shrink. I will no longer delay. I will no longer doubt." The moment you declare it, heaven records it as obedience. "I rise now" is more than motivation, it's movement. It's a line drawn in the sand between who you were and who you are becoming. It's a shift from surviving to thriving, from silence to sound, from hesitation to holy boldness. Even as you write it, feel your spirit standing taller. Chains that once wrapped around your confidence begin to break. The fear that once silenced your purpose begins to dissolve. You can feel new strength coursing through your soul, a divine urgency saying, "Move forward." Beloved, you are not rising alone. The same God who commanded you to rise walks beside you as you do. The heavens back every step you take in faith. The earth will respond to your obedience, and soon others will look and say, "Truly, this one has been with God." Rise, chosen one, not tomorrow, not later, now, because the rain is already falling, and heaven is waiting for your first step into the promise prepared for you. Chosen one, you've reached the place where overflow begins. The season of scraping by, of just enough, has ended. Heaven is now pouring out in measures that exceed expectation. You are entering into the overflow where blessings chase you, where favor multiplies without effort, where your cup runs over and touches everything around you. This is the portion reserved for those who didn't give up in dry seasons. You watered others while you were thirsty. You prayed for people while waiting for your own breakthrough. You sowed when the soil looked barren. Heaven took notice. And now, the harvest is returning with interest. Overflow is not just about material abundance, it's about spiritual saturation. Peace will overflow where anxiety once ruled. Joy will overflow where sorrow once sat. Love will overflow in places where rejection once lingered. You will begin to see that everything heaven gives multiplies on contact. The cup in your hand isn't empty anymore. The oil that once felt like a drop is now a river. God is not giving you what you lost, He's giving you more than you imagined. He is not restoring you to where you were, He's elevating you beyond what you thought was possible. Chosen one. The overflow comes after obedience. It doesn't follow perfection, it follows perseverance. You stayed faithful in famine. And now, heaven responds with fullness. When you were down to your last strength, you still whispered, "I trust you." That whisper echoed in heaven louder than 1,000 shouts. It moved the heart of God. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. It is written in the book of Psalms, chapter 23, verse 5. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Too well am I. This is the reality now unfolding around you. The same table where you once wept will become the place where you feast. The same hands that anointed you in private are now presenting you in public. The same cup that once felt empty is now spilling with divine provision. But remember, overflow is not only for your comfort. It's for your calling. God fills you so that you can fill others. The overflow that's coming will heal those connected to you. When people step into your atmosphere, they will sense peace, provision, and presence. You will carry more than enough, because enough was never your destiny. You were designed to overflow. It's in your spiritual DNA. You are a living stream, meant to refresh dry lands. That's why scarcity never suited you. It wasn't who you were, it was the soil where generosity grew. Every struggle taught you to trust, and every loss trained you to give. Now that heaven has released increase, you will know how to handle it. Chosen one. Do not be surprised when favor starts to find you easily. You will walk into rooms where doors open on their own. You'll see situations turn without explanation. You'll receive messages, calls, and opportunities that seem out of nowhere, but they aren't out of nowhere. They're out of heavens now. And as the overflow begins to pour, remember to remain grounded. The more God pours in, the more humility must flow out. Stay grateful. Stay teachable. Stay generous. The blessing is not meant to inflate your pride, but to enlarge your reach. You are blessed to be a blessing. When you witness the overflow, don't rush past it. Pause and give glory. The same God who filled your cup deserves your thanks with every sip. Gratitude keeps the river flowing. And if this message resonates in your spirit, if you can feel the overflow beginning to touch your life, then let your actions reflect your agreement. Like this message as an act of thanksgiving. Not for attention, but as a testimony that you've seen the goodness of God. Share it so others standing in drought may taste this same hope. Subscribe if you haven't. Not to follow a voice, but to remain connected to the continual flow of heaven's word. These simple acts are not about numbers, they're about unity. When chosen ones move together, the current of blessing grows stronger. Every engagement becomes a ripple that touches another soul. Someone who has lost faith will read your shared post and remember that God still fills empty cups. Your like, your share, your connection, it's more than digital, it's divine. You are part of a movement of overcomers. Vessels pouring into vessels until the earth is filled with light. Beloved, your cup is no longer cracked or leaking, it has been repaired by grace. You will not lose what's coming. You will not waste what's given. The overflow will sustain you through every new chapter. It will overflow into your family, your work, your mind, and your heart. You are not stepping into more, you are stepping into abundance beyond measure. Lift your gaze. Chosen one, you are sitting at a prepared table, anointed and full. The cup of your life is spilling with goodness, mercy, and divine favor. Drink deeply, for this is only the beginning. The overflow has begun, and it will not stop until every dry place around you is drenched in glory. Chosen one, you have entered a sacred current, the season of divine acceleration. What used to take years will now happen in moments. What once crawled will begin to run. Time itself seems to bend around your obedience. This is the hour when the hand of God moves swiftly, redeeming every lost second and multiplying every faithful step. You've waited long enough. You've endured the delay, passed the test of patience, and proved that your faith was not convenience, it was covenant. Because you stayed steady when nothing moved. Heaven now releases momentum. The spirit that once whispered wait now declares, go. Acceleration is not chaos, it's alignment. It's when heaven synchronizes your destiny with divine speed. You may have felt behind, but heaven says you're right on time. The moment your heart caught up with obedience, everything around you began to shift. People, resources, opportunities. What was once distant is suddenly drawing near. You'll notice it in small ways, first conversations that open doors, ideas that flow without effort, favor that meets you where, before you had to chase it. It will seem unreal, but it's real. This is acceleration. What was delayed is being delivered. What was locked is being loosed. The currents of heaven are carrying you faster than your own strength ever could. But acceleration requires awareness. God doesn't just speed up your life, He speeds up your discernment. You'll begin to see through distractions quickly. What once confused you will now be clear. You will move not by reaction, but by revelation. Every step will feel guided by an unseen compass pointing toward promise. The prophet Daniel once experienced this. He prayed, and the answer was sent the same day. Though resistance delayed it in the heavens, now that the resistance over your life has been broken, your answers will arrive without hindrance. Acceleration means heaven has removed the weight that once slowed you. You are lighter, freer, and faster in the spirit. But remember, speed without direction leads to exhaustion. God's acceleration is not frantic, it's focused. He will not rush you, He will ready you. Every open door is a test of stewardship. Heaven trusts you now with greater velocity because your heart has been refined. You no longer run after validation, you run after purpose. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, it is written in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13, "The days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. New wine will drip from the mountains and flow from all the hills." Mikey, this is the season of overtaking, where harvest catches up with the seed, where answers meet the prayer, where dreams meet manifestation. Heaven's pace quickens not to overwhelm you, but to reward your faith. Every waiting season had purpose. Now every obedient moment has power. Chosen one, when divine acceleration comes, you will feel a pull in your spirit. It will not feel forced, it will feel like flow. Things that once took months will unfold in days. Places that once felt closed will welcome you in. Conversations will align like puzzle pieces, fitting perfectly without your manipulation. That's how you'll know it's God. But acceleration also brings responsibility. You must stay grounded in gratitude. The faster things move, the deeper your roots must be. Prayer must become your anchor. Humility must be your compass. Never let speed make you forget source. The one who accelerates can also pause to protect. There will be moments when it feels overwhelming, but peace will remain your proof. Even when things happen quickly, your spirit will stay still. Heaven's acceleration never breeds anxiety. It brings clarity. You won't have to strive for the next door. It will appear naturally under your steps. In this new rhythm, even your relationships will shift. Some people who walked with you in waiting will not understand your movement in acceleration. Love them, bless them, but don't slow down to explain. Those who are meant to run with you will match your pace without envy. Acceleration also redeems what seemed wasted. The time you thought was lost, the opportunities that slipped away, the years spent in struggle. Heaven is gathering them and compressing the reward into this season. You will accomplish in 1 year what others could not in 10, not by might, not by manipulation, but by the Spirit of God. Chosen one. The angel of acceleration has been released. You can almost feel the wind shifting behind you, carrying you forward with grace. Do not fear this speed. Embrace it. You've been strengthened for this. Every delay was training for rapid release. Your task now is to stay focused, to move with faith and precision. There will be temptations to rush ahead of grace or to doubt the sudden favor, but hold steady. Let every move be led by peace, not pressure. The same God who quickened the pace will sustain the journey. You are stepping into divine velocity, where progress becomes effortless because heaven propels you. You will see years of prayer unfold in days of manifestation. You will move faster, rise higher, and impact deeper, all because the breath of God is behind you. This is not luck. It is not coincidence. It is divine acceleration, your reward for endurance, your testimony of grace, your evidence that heaven remembers. You are no longer walking, you are soaring. Chosen one. Heaven is speaking again, and this time, it comes as a seal of completion. You have walked through fire and water. You have endured silence and shaking. And now, you stand at the threshold of fulfillment. The cycle that once felt endless has reached its divine conclusion. What was promised will no longer linger. What was delayed will no longer be held back. You are stepping into the realm where prayers turn into proofs. There is something sacred about divine completion. It's not simply the end of a season, it's the perfection of purpose. God never leaves things unfinished. Every wound you carried, every unanswered question, every closed door, they were all threads in a larger design that now comes together. What seemed random was always rhythmic. What felt broken was always building. Completion doesn't mean the absence of struggle. It means the presence of purpose. You didn't endure pain for nothing. Heaven was shaping you into a vessel strong enough to hold the glory now being poured out. The years that felt wasted are returning as wisdom. The nights that felt empty are returning as revelation. You are living proof that God finishes what He starts. According to what is revealed in the book of Philippians, it is written in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, being confident of this, that he who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus. Exide. That is your assurance. God is not a half-builder. He never abandons a blueprint midway. Every detail, every design, every delay, it all fits into his finished masterpiece. You are not behind, you are right on schedule. The same hands that started your story are now sealing it with glory. Chosen one. Divine completion feels different. You will notice doors closing, not from rejection, but from resolution. You'll feel the release to move on from places that once defined you. You'll find yourself no longer chasing what once consumed you. It's because your spirit recognizes that a chapter has ended. Heaven is turning the page. Completion also brings clarity. What once confused you will suddenly make sense. You'll see how the pain protected you, how the detours directed you, how the waiting wove strength into your soul. Every piece that seemed misplaced now reveals its purpose. It's like watching the final strokes of a divine artist. Everything fits. But do not rush this moment. Many move too quickly after completion, trying to fill the quiet with activity. Learn to rest in divine satisfaction. Completion is a sacred pause before new creation. Let heaven breathe upon what has been finished before demanding the next. There is beauty in stillness. There is holiness in closure. Chosen one. This moment is holy ground. The angels who once warred on your behalf now sing over your victory. The heavens that once thundered now rest in silence, honoring what has been fulfilled. Your obedience has written a story that will inspire others long after this season ends. Now, as a prophetic act of agreement, type the number 555 below. 5 represents grace, and the triple repetition 555 is heaven's symbol of perfected grace. Grace multiplied, grace completed. By typing it, you are declaring, I receive the completion of what God began in me. It's more than a comment, it's covenant. You are marking this moment as a divine milestone. When you write it, imagine heaven recording your response in its scrolls. The act itself becomes prophetic, a way of saying, I will not live half-finished. You are testifying that what began in prayer is ending in power. Every incomplete promise, every lingering hope, is being finalized by divine authority. The completion season also carries release. You are being freed from old cycles, emotional loops, repeated disappointments, familiar fears. The anointing of completion breaks repetition. You are no longer going in circles. You are moving forward in straight lines. What took years to learn will now bear fruit in moments. Even relationships will shift under this anointing. Those who were meant for one chapter may not follow into the next, and that's okay. Completion isn't loss, it's closure. Let go gracefully. When heaven finishes something, holding on becomes hindrance. Release is obedience, and obedience births new beginnings. Beloved, lift your eyes and see the fullness of what God has done. You're standing in the evidence of answered prayers. You are the proof that perseverance still works. You are the testimony of a God who completes. Every tear sown in faith has produced something beautiful. Every season of lack has become the soil of abundance. Completion doesn't mean it's over, it means it's ready. The chapter may close, but the story continues. And as one door seals, another silently unlocks in the distance. That is how heaven moves, full circles, becoming open paths. So take a breath. Chosen one, rest your heart. Smile at how far you've come. The God who began the good work in you has kept his promise. And now, the same voice that once whispered, "Wait," declares with final authority, "It is finished." Chosen one, the Lord is not only restoring what was taken, he is returning time itself. The years that slipped away, the moments you thought were lost forever, the seasons where nothing seemed to grow, heaven is redeeming them. This is not poetic comfort, it is divine reality. God specializes in rewriting the clock. He bends time to bless those who remained faithful when everything seemed frozen. You have carried regret, haven't you? Those quiet thoughts that whisper, "If only I had known then what I know now." The ache of missed chances, the sting of wasted effort, the pain of relationships that ended too soon. But heaven does not measure time the way humans do. What you call lost, God calls planted. What you call delay, heaven calls development. There is a divine exchange taking place right now. Heaven is trading your lost time for living testimony. Every too late is being transformed into just in time. Every broken timeline is being rewritten to align with God's perfect rhythm. You are not behind. You are being accelerated into divine synchronization. As the prophet Joel once wrote, it is written in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 25, "I will restore to you the years that the locust has eaten, the cankerworm, the caterpillar, and the palmer worm, my great army which I sent among you." Allo. That verse carries the heartbeat of heaven for you. God doesn't merely fix, he restores to overflowing. The devourer that consumed your time, energy, and dreams will have to repay sevenfold. What you lost through pain, you will gain through purpose. What was stolen in one season will return multiplied in this one. Chosen one, look closely at your life. You'll begin to see evidence of this restoration already. The dreams you thought had died are stirring again. Old passions are being reborn. Connections that once dissolved are reappearing in divine timing. The fog that clouded your purpose is lifting, and clarity returns like sunrise after a long storm. Heaven has not forgotten the years you felt unseen. Those were your hidden years, and hidden years are holy years. They built the foundation for what is coming now. You were not waiting for nothing, you were maturing, learning how to handle what you once prayed for. And now, you are stepping into those very prayers with wisdom born from delay. The return of time is a quiet miracle. It doesn't shout, it unfolds. You'll suddenly realize that what took others decades to build is forming quickly for you. Not because you skipped the process, but because you honored it. Heaven is rewarding your endurance with acceleration that redeems every year of pain. And you will notice something sacred. Peace will replace panic. The urgency of regret will fade. You will no longer say, "I wish I could go back," because you'll realize God brought the blessing forward. What was meant to be in your past is meeting you in your present. Time itself obeys the Creator's voice. You are not too late, and you are not too old. Heaven's timeline is not controlled by calendars or clocks. Destiny does not expire. The anointing that was delayed is still yours. The promise that seemed paused is now pressing play. God is not giving you a rerun, He's giving you redemption. Even relationships are being restored in ways you could not imagine. People from your past who carried unfinished assignments in your story are being realigned to re-enter. This time with healed hearts and heavenly motives. Old dreams are being given new breath. Broken collaborations are being resurrected with divine order. Chosen one. The return of time also carries responsibility. You must now live with intention. Every day that comes is a gift multiplied by grace. You can't waste what heaven has returned. Your yes must be louder, your faith quicker, your love deeper. God didn't return the years so you could repeat them. He returned them so you could redeem them. And when you feel that familiar tug of regret, remember this: redemption rewrites everything. You are not defined by missed opportunities, but by divine mercy. You will look back and see that nothing was truly lost. It was all leading here to this fullness, to this maturity, to this moment. Time is no longer your enemy, it's your ally. What once slipped through your fingers will now rest securely in your hands. Heaven has returned what the earth stole. You will walk in the joy of recovered years and the peace of restored purpose. The past no longer binds you, it blesses you. The God who rules eternity has reached into your history and turned loss into legacy. You are no longer chasing time, time is now serving you. The restoration has begun, and it will not stop until every lost season sings again. Chosen one. This is the moment when heaven begins to clothe you with a new mantle, the mantle of authority. You have endured the wilderness, the waiting, the refining fire. And now God places upon your shoulders the weight of divine responsibility and glory. You are not who you once were. You have been tested, proven, and chosen to carry power not for status, but for service. A mantle is not given lightly. It is the symbol of divine trust. When heaven places it on someone, it is heaven's way of saying, "This one can represent me." Authority without character is dangerous, but character refined by trial produces power that can be trusted. That is why you had to walk through the valley before receiving the crown. There were moments when you felt stripped of comfort, of relationships, of certainty. You thought you were losing, but in truth, you were being emptied so the mantle could fit. God never clothes the proud. He only clothes the surrendered. The authority coming upon you now could not rest on the old you. It needed this version broken, healed, humble, and bold. Chosen one. Divine authority is not loud, it's weighty. It's not proven in noise, but in peace. When you speak now, the spiritual realm will respond differently. Demons will recognize the authority forged in your pain. Heaven will back your declarations because they rise from purified faith, not pride. The Spirit spoke through the Apostle in his letter to the Corinthians. It is written in the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 10, verse 4. The weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, which render the process. That verse is the blueprint for your new authority. You no longer fight with frustration or fear. You war with divine weapons, faith, prayer, wisdom, and word. The same hands that once trembled in uncertainty will now command peace. You don't need to shout for authority to be known. Heaven itself echoes through your quiet confidence. Every trial has trained you for this. When you faced betrayal, you learned compassion. When you walked through darkness, you learned discernment. When you lost, you learned to listen. Those lessons were not punishment, they were preparation. Heaven was fitting your mantle in silence, while the world assumed you had been forgotten. And now, the anointing rests. You feel it in the weight of your words, in the stillness that follows your prayers, in the divine timing of your movements. You will begin to notice how people are drawn to your peace, not your performance. That is how authority truly operates. It does not demand attention, it commands respect through presence. But authority comes with accountability. Heaven does not crown without calling you to deeper obedience. You are no longer free to act from impulse. Your emotions can no longer dictate your direction. You represent the kingdom now. When you move, heaven moves. When you speak, heaven listens. When you act, heaven records. Chosen one. Wield this authority with love. Power without love becomes tyranny. But power with compassion becomes transformation. The world is not waiting for more noise. It is waiting for voices who carry weight. You are that voice. You have been marked not by title, but by truth. You will heal through your presence and correct through your peace. Even creation will respond to your authority. You'll speak to storms, literal and spiritual, and they will calm. You'll pray for the sick and see recovery. You'll walk into atmospheres thick with oppression and feel them lift. This is not exaggeration. It is the reality of divine authority properly stewarded. Do not fear this weight. It was designed for your shoulders. The God who placed it there will sustain you beneath it. And remember, authority is never about control, it's about covering. You are not here to dominate, but to defend. Not to command attention, but to carry presence. This mantle will also bring visibility. Those who once dismissed you will recognize the shift. It won't be your words that convince them. It will be the quiet power radiating from your life. People will sense something different, an atmosphere of heaven surrounding you. That's what divine authority feels like. It's not arrogance, it's assurance. And though it elevates you, it will also humble you. Because the closer you walk with heaven, the more you realize the greatness of grace. You'll carry power with gentleness, speak truth with mercy, and lead without boasting. You will know deeply that the authority you carry is borrowed, not owned. Chosen one. Wear your mantle with reverence. It is the evidence of heaven's trust and the instrument of heaven's will. It carries both the fragrance of prayer and the fire of purity. Wherever you walk, darkness will recede, not because of who you are, but because of who walks with you. From this moment forward, your steps are not ordinary. Every action is prophetic. Every word carries weight. You are not just surviving, you are reigning, not as a ruler of men, but as a servant of heaven. You are crowned with purpose and clothed with power, carrying the mantle that marks the truly chosen one. Something extraordinary is happening across the earth. You are not the only one awakening others, just like you are rising at this very hour, scattered across nations, languages, and generations. The chosen ones are hearing the same whisper, feeling the same stirring, and answering the same call. A global awakening has begun. It's not a movement built by men or measured by numbers. It's a spiritual uprising orchestrated by heaven itself. The fire that once burned quietly within individuals is now spreading like a holy wildfire. What was once hidden in silence is now roaring in unity. You, chosen one, are part of something far greater than you can see. For years, the world has been shrouded in noise, fear, confusion, division. But now, heaven releases a sound that cuts through it all, the call of the chosen. It's a sound of alignment, of gathering, of purpose. From cities to deserts, from mountain villages to online spaces, hearts are awakening in sync. The same spirit that speaks to you is stirring millions more. The enemy worked hard to isolate the chosen, to make each one feel alone, unheard, misunderstood. But isolation was never abandonment, it was preparation. God separated his warriors so he could train them in silence. And now that training is over. The trumpet of heaven has sounded, and the chosen are being assembled. You'll begin to recognize them not by titles or status, but by spirit. There's a glow in their eyes, a peace in their presence, a power in their voice. They carry the fragrance of perseverance, the mark of mercy, and the weight of wisdom. When you meet them, you'll feel it, the quiet recognition that says, "You've been through the fire too." This collective rising is not about fame, it's about flame. God is lighting torches and placing them in the hands of those who refuse to quit. The same fire that once burned in the prophets now burns in ordinary people with extraordinary faith. And together, those lights are forming a constellation of revival. As the Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Romans, it is written in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 19, "For the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed." The world has been waiting for this for you. Creation itself has groaned, longing for those who would walk in light, love, and authority. You are not just part of a church, you are part of a cosmic revelation. Heaven and earth are aligning to showcase the children of glory. And this movement doesn't require platforms, it requires presence. Every act of kindness, every prayer whispered, every truth spoken in courage, it all matters. The awakening is happening not just in pulpits, but in workplaces, classrooms, streets, and screens. The chosen are rising wherever faith meets obedience. Heaven's design has always been community. One light can expose darkness, but many lights can erase it. That's why you're reading this now, not by accident, but by appointment. Heaven is connecting you to others who burn with the same fire. When chosen ones unite, darkness trembles. Beloved, don't hide your flame. Let your testimony speak. Share what God has done in you. Encourage those who are still waiting for their awakening. When you tell your story, you spark someone else's faith. When you lift another, heaven multiplies the light. If this message stirs something in your spirit, take a small but meaningful step like this message, not for popularity, but to declare that you are part of the awakening. Share it, not as content, but as a calling. Someone scrolling through the noise may need to read this very word to remember who they are. And before you go, subscribe if you haven't yet, not for numbers, but to remain connected to the ongoing current of prophetic encouragement that heaven is releasing through this space. Then pause for one last moment and comment something that speaks to your spirit. It can be simple, just a few words. Let your comment become part of the collective declaration of faith across the earth. Every word typed in light becomes a ripple in eternity. When chosen ones respond, heaven records it. The algorithm may track engagement, but heaven tracks agreement. Your comment becomes a digital altar, a moment where faith met action. You are saying, I am awake. I am part of this. I will carry the flame. Look around you. Chosen one, the rising has begun. What was once scattered is now united. What was once hidden is now revealed. You are part of the generation that refuses to bow, that walks in power, that shines in truth. The world may not understand what's happening, but heaven smiles. The awakening has come, and you are standing in its light. Together, the chosen ones move forward, not in fear, but in faith. Not in isolation, but in divine unity. Chosen one, before the promise is fully visible, there is always a final test of faith. It is the last threshold before manifestation, the silent battlefield where heaven watches. Not to condemn you, but to confirm you. You have come so far, endured so much, and grown in strength. Yet, even now, faith must finish its work. This test does not come with warning. It often arrives clothed in contradiction. You sense the nearness of breakthrough, but everything around you looks the same, or sometimes worse. It's the moment when heaven goes quiet again, not because God has turned away, but because He trusts you to walk by what you know, not by what you feel. Every chosen vessel must cross this place, the final proving ground, where faith is refined into unshakable confidence. It's not meant to break you, it's meant to prove what has already been built within you. You don't need new strength for this test, you need remembrance. Remember who you are, and remember who He has always been. It feels like walking through fog. You see no signs, hear no confirmations, feel no encouragement, just stillness. But heaven is closer than ever in the silence. The teacher is always quietest during the final exam. The faith that once leaned on signs must now stand on truth alone. You've been through this pattern before, but this time it's different. This test is not about survival, it's about surrender. God is not asking if you can endure pain, He's asking if you can trust peace. You've proven your ability to fight. Now He's testing your ability to rest. Can you believe the promise, even when the battlefield looks unchanged? Faith at this level no longer begs, it breathes. It no longer demands evidence, it embodies it. You have become what you once prayed for. The test is not external, it's internal. Heaven is checking for alignment between your confession and your conviction. The ancient words recorded in Hebrews still echo today. It is written in the book of Hebrews, chapter 10, verse 35, "So do not throw away your confidence, it will be richly rewarded." Ah, that's the heart of this moment. Heaven is saying, hold your confidence. The reward is already in motion. Don't let impatience rob you of completion. You're closer than you think. The evidence will soon appear. But first, faith must finish its course. In this phase, distractions will multiply. Doubt will disguise itself as logic. People you trusted may question your direction, and circumstances may whisper, maybe it wasn't meant to be. But this is where your inner stillness becomes your weapon. The one who remains anchored in peace while everything shakes has already won. The enemy's last tactic is subtle. He doesn't need to destroy you, just to detour you. If he can make you doubt right before the door opens, he wins without war. But this time, you will not yield. You've learned to recognize his voice. You know that confusion never comes from God. Chosen one, do not mistake silence for absence. The hand of heaven is moving, even when your eyes cannot see it. The soil of your faith is full. The roots of your belief are deep. You have already passed so many unseen tests. This final one is only confirmation that manifestation is next. The fire that once frightened you now refines you. The waiting that once wearied you now strengthens you. You've become the kind of believer who doesn't just hold on, you stand firm. The pressure you feel is not punishment, it's the weight of coming glory. Soon you will look back on this test and realize it was never about losing, it was about learning to see differently. Heaven was teaching you to trust without visible signs, to believe without constant proof. That's maturity, the kind of faith that shakes the gates of hell without shouting, "Chosen one." Even now, heaven is watching and smiling, not with suspicion, but with pride. You have come through storms that would have broken others. You have kept your heart pure, your worship sincere, your hope alive. This test isn't here to expose weakness, it's here to reveal endurance. Remember this truth: gold cannot fear fire. What you are walking through now is not for destruction, it's for distinction. Heaven is polishing what it intends to display. When you emerge, you will shine with a glory no trial can dim. So stand your ground. Keep your spirit quiet but alert, humble but firm. You are in the final lap, the sacred stretch before manifestation. The clouds may look heavy, but they are full of rain. When you feel like nothing is happening, heaven whispers, "Everything is." The silence is not delay, it's divine suspense before revelation. Soon, the curtain will lift. The very thing you prayed for will stand before you, tangible and undeniable. You will not wonder anymore if you heard right. You will see that you were right all along. Chosen one. This is your final proving ground. Hold fast, breathe deeply, and trust completely. The reward is not coming, it's already on its way. Chosen one. The moment has arrived. The waiting is over. The silence is lifting. And heaven's decree is manifesting in real time. The promise that hovered above your life has descended. It has touched the earth and taken form. You stand now in the middle of what you once only imagined. The words you prayed in tears are now speaking back to you through reality. The season of prophecy has ended. The season of fulfillment has begun. This is your miracle Sunday, the day heaven's hand becomes visible. It does not come with chaos, but with calm. There is peace in this manifestation, a sacred stillness that says, "It is done." You don't have to force it or prove it. It surrounds you effortlessly, like morning light after a long night. What was heavy is now light. What was broken has been restored. What was uncertain now makes sense. You will feel it first before you fully see it. The air around you feels clearer. The burdens feel lighter. And your heart carries quiet joy. This is what answered prayer feels like. It's not always loud, it's weightless. Heaven has shifted your atmosphere. Things that used to drain you now empower you. Doors that once resisted now open at your approach. You are walking under a new rhythm, one written by grace. Every struggle, every tear, every night of wrestling has led here. Nothing was wasted. The pain became your preparation, the silence your sanctuary, the delay your development. You were not waiting in vain, you were being aligned with divine precision. Heaven waited until everything in and around you was ready, so that when the miracle arrived, it would remain. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, it is written in the book of John, chapter 11, verse 40, "Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God. And now, you are seeing it, not as a concept, but as a reality. The glory of God has entered your story, turning every wound into wisdom and every waiting into worship. You no longer speak of the promise by faith alone, you speak from fulfillment. Chosen one. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter written in victory. Miracles don't just happen to you, they happen through you. The blessing you now carry will overflow into others. The testimony that once belonged only to your prayers will soon become someone else's hope. The manifestation will not look like what you imagined, but it will fit perfectly with what God intended. It will be better, purer, and more purposeful. You'll see why the timing had to be what it was, why certain people couldn't stay, and why certain doors remained closed. Heaven's no was never rejection, it was redirection toward this yes. There is a stillness that comes when a divine promise is fulfilled. It's not the excitement of arrival, it's the peace of completion. You find yourself smiling without trying, resting without striving, breathing without fear. The battle inside you has ended because the war has been won. Now, as the miracle unfolds, humility must anchor your heart. Remember who sustained you when you had nothing but faith. Remember the nights you prayed for strength and the mornings you rose with none. The same God who carried you through the valley now crowns you on the mountain. Do not forget the journey, it's part of the glory. Heaven's reward is not just blessing, it's awareness. You now see life differently. You look at pain and recognize purpose. You look at people and see divine timing. You look at the future and feel peace instead of pressure. That's what miracles do. They don't just change circumstances, they transform perspective. You will begin to notice that your voice carries new power. When you speak, others will listen, not out of curiosity, but conviction. Because you carry evidence. You've become living proof that faith works, that prayer prevails, that perseverance produces fruit. You are no longer telling stories, you are the story. The miracle will multiply through your life in subtle, sacred ways. A heart you touch, a word you speak, a presence you bring, it will all ripple outward. That's how heaven's glory spreads through lives transformed and hearts awakened. Chosen one. Rest in this peace. The striving has ceased. The promise is fulfilled. What began as hope has become history. Heaven has kept every word. You have crossed the finish line of faith and stepped into the open field of grace. You are no longer reaching, you are receiving. No longer running, you are reigning. The fullness of what was spoken is now standing before you. Your miracle Sunday has arrived, and the blessing is no longer distant, it breathes with you, walks with you, and lives within you. Take this moment as holy. Let gratitude rise from your spirit like incense. Whisper thanks to the one who never failed you, never forgot you, never let you fall beyond his reach. The heavens rejoice. The earth bears witness. And your spirit finally rests. The miracle has manifested. The waiting has ended. Heaven's promise is now your reality. Chosen one. Before this message closes, take a moment and feel the stillness that surrounds you now. Heaven has spoken. Your spirit has heard. You have walked through revelation, restoration, and renewal. You have witnessed what happens when divine timing meets unwavering faith. This is the fruit of perseverance, the proof that heaven keeps its word. But this isn't only your ending, it's a beginning. The same light that found you here must now move through you. Someone out there is still waiting for hope, still believing through tears, still fighting battles in silence. The word that revived you might be the very word that revives them. Don't let it stop here. Let it flow. If this message has stirred your spirit, like it as a small but sacred act of gratitude. Each click is more than support. It's a public thank you to heaven for everything he has done and everything he still will do. Share this message with someone who needs to remember that miracles still happen. Maybe a friend who's tired, a family member who's doubting, or even a stranger scrolling through despair. You never know what light your obedience might ignite in another heart. And before you leave, take one more step of faith. Comment below. Write something simple that rises from your heart, a sentence of thanks, a short declaration, even a word like Amen, faith, or glory. Every comment becomes a thread woven into the tapestry of this global awakening of chosen ones. Your words matter, they echo in unseen realms. Lastly, if you haven't already, subscribe, not for algorithms, not for numbers, but for connection to stay within the steady flow of prophetic encouragement that heaven keeps releasing. Each message carries new oil, new wisdom, new direction. Staying connected means staying aligned. You are not alone, and you never were. Across nations and time zones, others just like you are listening, believing, rising, together. The chosen ones carry the light that darkness cannot comprehend. So lift your head, beloved. The miracle has manifested. The story is just beginning. You are walking proof that God still speaks, still moves, still blesses, and He is not finished yet. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let your faith ripple beyond this screen. Let heaven hear your agreement one last time. It is done.